You said something weird at dinner. Now they think you're a heretic. Part 1. Realizing you're doomed. You said something weird at dinner. Now they think you're a heretic. So there you are, happily munching away at a medieval feast, when suddenly your mouth gets ahead of your brain. Maybe you asked, "Hey, has anyone else ever wondered if the Earth actually moves around the sun?" Congratulations, you just invented a reason to be labeled a heretic. And guess what? Heresy is definitely not trending positively right now. It's the Middle Ages, my friend, where even casual chatter about astronomy can get you a one-way ticket to an interrogation chamber. The people around you stop chewing, forks suspended mid-air, and that one overly zealous cousin immediately runs off, probably to rat you out. Great. Within hours, the news travels faster than the Black Death, and before you know it, stern-looking dudes in ominous robes are banging on your door. That's right, the Inquisition has arrived, and they're here to clarify your questionable dining etiquette, by torture if necessary. Now, it's important to know who you're dealing with. The medieval Inquisition is like the scariest HOA ever. These guys take rules super seriously, and your quirky theories about planets, or worse yet, doubting the clergy's weekend wine ritual, have earned you an invite to their little clubhouse of pain. Step 1 in escaping the Inquisition: acknowledge your situation is bad, like selling indulgences for beer money, kind of bad. The Inquisition is infamous for not taking "oops, my bad" as a valid defense. You're panicking, I get it, but don't worry yet. Panicking is exactly the emotional response that tells you you're sane. And sanity is going to be your best weapon here. Well, that, and perhaps a cleverly forged passport. Wait, sorry, those haven't been invented yet, so your door's rattling, the villagers are whispering, and you're busy thinking, should have stuck with commenting on the soup. But don't despair completely. You're medieval smart, and medieval smart means quick thinking, slippery talking, and always ready with an escape plan. Here's your immediate survival guide. Stop debating theology with random strangers. Consider developing a believable amnesia backstory. Hit your head, woke up confused about heliocentric theory. Practice your repentant face. Groveling convincingly might buy you some time, but let's face it, the best option at this stage might just be running for your life. So grab your cloak, pack some bread, and maybe grab that weird cousin too. He owes you for starting this mess. Ready or not, it's time to escape the Inquisition. Part 2. The Great Escape. You're out the back door with half a loaf of bread, a vague sense of direction, and a growing realization that you have no idea where heretics are not hunted like wild boars. Good start. Your first goal: distance. You need to put at least 3 suspicious villages, 1 cursed forest, and a sketchy bridge troll between you and anyone who owns a rack and thumbscrews. Head for the hills, or better yet, the nearest trade route, because where there's commerce, there's distraction. Nobody checks theology papers in a fish market. A bit of background. The Inquisition wasn't one big centralized nightmare. It came in waves. The medieval Inquisition started around the 12th century to stomp out Cathar and Waldensian heresies in southern France. Think of it as the church's way of saying, "We noticed you have independent thought, and we hate that for you." By the 13th century, inquisitors had legal power, papal backing, and zero chill. Dominicans especially were the church's go-to heretic hunters, nicknamed Dominicanes, or Dogs of the Lord. So yes, you're literally running from trained theological bloodhounds in robes. Back to your escape. This is where you embrace your new identity. Your name is no longer Gerald the Slightly Curious. You're now Jacques, humble manure merchant. It's hard to interrogate a guy who smells like disappointment and livestock. Try not to overact, though. If you show up with a perfectly clean tunic and say you shovel dung, you'll raise suspicion. Commit to the role. Find some actual dung if necessary. Disguises matter, cloaks are great, but nothing says not worth arresting like looking mildly contagious. Smear on some soot, limp slightly, talk to a chicken, whatever it takes. The Inquisition has files, but not photographs. Use that to your advantage. Next, allies. Travel alone and you're suspicious. Travel with a group of pilgrims and you're just another guy praying for forgiveness. Exactly what the church wants. Just try not to say anything weird this time. Stick to nodding solemnly and muttering Latin-sounding noises. Historical note: pilgrimages were actually a popular get-out-of-jail-free card. Sometimes literal. Some heretics sentenced by inquisitors could reduce their punishment by doing a pilgrimage. So when in doubt, slap a scallop shell on your bag and start limping towards Santiago de Compostela. If questioned, keep it simple. Where are you from? A small village. You wouldn't know it. What do you believe? Whatever the local priest says. Where are you going? On a holy journey to atone for my sins. All of them. Even the imaginary ones. Should things get dicey, like say, a robed man starts asking probing questions, fake a medical emergency, collapse, moan about your humors being unbalanced. People fear disease even more than heresy. One coughing fit and suddenly you've got a 3-meter radius of personal space, but let's say they grab you. Rough day. This is when you need to stall. Ask for confession, demand clarity on church doctrine, cry. Mention relatives in the clergy. Buy yourself minutes, hours, anything. Every delay is a chance to escape, be transferred, or just confuse them with a theological paradox. You're not just running from danger, you're running towards survival. The church might have resources, but you have desperation and body odor on your side. Next stop. A new town? A new name, and preferably a job that doesn't involve speaking aloud. Like bell ringer. Or gravedigger. Very low risk of doctrinal debates in a graveyard. You've made it out for now. But don't relax. The Inquisition doesn't quit, and you still talk in your sleep. Part 3. Reinventing yourself and staying unburnt. You've dodged arrest, faked a limp, and now you're living in a town where no one knows you once questioned whether comets were God's angry farts. Now comes the hard part. Staying uninteresting. First, pick a profession that no one wants to ask about. Candle making is good. So is ditch digging. Avoid anything that involves reading, writing, or being near large groups, especially universities. You'll think, hey, education, and they'll think, witchcraft. Pro tip. If anyone mentions the name Giordano Bruno, pretend you've never heard it. Bruno was an actual heretic who went full galaxy brain, talked about infinite worlds and alien life, and got himself publicly roasted in 1600. You, meanwhile, just want to roast onions and not die. Rebuild your social life carefully. A few friendly nods, some shared ale, maybe a goat. But no big speeches. If you must talk about anything, talk about the weather. Everyone agrees on weather. Rain's coming, you'll say, and someone will grunt approvingly. That's your new conversational ceiling. If you're ever tempted to speak philosophically again, punch yourself hard. Because no one wants to hear it. Not the villagers, not the priest, certainly not the Inquisition spy who's probably pretending to be a local shepherd with oddly clean boots. Next, adopt some healthy paranoia. Assume every chicken might be an informant. That nice woman at the market. She'd sell your soul for half a fish. Keep your head down, go to church, kneel with enthusiasm. People love a dramatic kneeler. You should also consider a rebranding campaign. Grow a beard. Shave your head. Add a limp to your right leg now just to spice things up, and maybe develop an irrational fear of cats. That one's always believable. Now, what if, despite all your efforts, the Inquisition tracks you down? You have three options. Blame everything on the devil, classic move, bonus point if you foam at the mouth. Join a monastery, instant protection, but you'll be stuck making wine and praying until you die. Trade-offs. Flee to somewhere completely insane like Iceland. No one will follow you to Iceland. They have lava and darkness and nobody speaks Latin. Final note. The Spanish Inquisition, yes, the Spanish Inquisition doesn't get started until the late 1400s. But if you think this means you're safe in Spain, think again. They were still burning books, people, and probably the occasional dinner. Finally, live quietly, think small, bake bread. Pet sheep never mention Copernicus. He's not even born yet, but still, don't. And if you ever feel the urge to say something clever at dinner again, stuff your mouth with turnips instead. You survived the Inquisition, not because you were brave, but because you were boring, filthy, and just slippery enough to escape. Congratulations, heretic. You've made it to the end credits.